I've heard nothing for over 3 hours. What's it? Gil? Well, isn't he with you? No, he hasn't. Why? Well, yes, if he comes... Oh. No, I thought I heard someone at the door. He's not to go to the airport. Yes, I'll tell him.
Conway.
Yes.
We've been paraded like cattle, while some idiot woman stalked up and down and glared at us. I'd no sooner got back to my flat than 2 of his men came. I had to sneak out by the back way.
Well, why did you?
Do you think I want any more of this humiliating charade?
He's only trying to help you.
Help me? How little you know your dear intended.
What are you going to do?
I've waited 3 years for this meeting. Nothing's going to keep me from it now.
Gil, he knows about your car.
Oh, that was quick.
It isn't at Lee's garage. It never has been. Why did you lie to him?
Because I wanted to look in it myself first.
Only you trust him.
Trust him? He came straight to me, Jane. She's having an affair, so it has to be a member of the staff. She's in my tutorial, so it has to be me. A simple process of logical deduction, he calls it.
It was only a theory, Gil, until you lied to him. He has to question everyone who had anything to do with Kay to find out how well they knew her.
Oh, because of the child?
Yes.
So, what do you look for, Jane? Someone already touched with scandal? Is that why he came to me, Jane?
I haven't told him. But isn't it time you did?
Strengthen his theory.
Gil? Did you do it?
Oh, Jane.
That glove, was it yours?
Well, it could be. When I looked in my car, one of mine was missing.
What?
Well, if it is, God knows how I got to the quarry. Someone must have put it there deliberately.
Oh, Gil.
That's why I've got to get away now before they check any further.
How?
Well, I booked an earlier flight through Paris. I've got my passport and my notes.
Don't trace your car.
I haven't risked it. I've hidden it in the driveway.
Well, how will you get to the airport?
I want the keys to yours, Jane.
What?
Well, I take your car, you store them for as long as possible.
But I promised Ian...
Now, Jane, I've got to get to this meeting. After so long, it can't happen again. It can't. Now, can it?
All right.
Now, don't tell him you've seen me or where I'm going. Try to keep him looking for me in the town.
Yes. So easy, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, Jane.
So easy. Everyone must help you. If they don't, they hate you. What about me? What's this going to do to my life?
Oh, I've been waiting for this.
What?
Well, it's what I should have expected. First my wife, now you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry? Wasn't Anne sorry when she destroyed my career?
I've told you I believe you and I'll help you, but you're not my whole life.
So you had this all the time?
I've had it since your wedding.
Why were you looking at it?
No reason.
Were you going to show it to Conway?
No. I couldn't help thinking of how you were on Saturday evening. And remembering Kay's photograph.
And?
I want... Gil, she was almost exactly like Anne.
Yes, she was. The smile, the turn of her head, everything. She wasn't like the real Anne.
So you knew her?
Oh, yes, I knew her. When she first came into my lecture room, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. Somehow I didn't even have to talk to her. She was everything. She was everything. She seemed to understand. She changed too, just like Anne. She's going to destroy me. I couldn't stand it again.
You don't know what you're saying.
She was waiting for me in my flat on Saturday afternoon. She begged me, she threatened me, she wanted money. I gave her what I had. She said she was going to run away with someone. And she wanted me. And I took her to the quarry. I never expected to see her or hear of her again. And suddenly...
It's all right. It's all right. I'm here. Now tell me all about it. Right from the beginning. Gil!
Have you seen Gil?
Yes.
You tell him what I said.
Yes, I don't know where he is now.
Jane, I'm having myself taken off the case.
Why?
It's almost certain that Gilbert will be charged with Kay Ramsey's murder.
Charged? But what about Andrew Duncan?
I've had a report from the Admiralty. He didn't stand out of the dockyard till 6:35 on the evening of the murder. Poor kid, he loved her despite the child. He came here to ask her to marry him, and I treated him like a...
And the other one?
Well, the student. He's got some explaining to do. To Miss Hendricks. His alibi's been confirmed by one of the waitresses at the coffee house. Appears he spent the whole weekend with the waitress.
So that leaves Gilbert.
Brandon's traced his new car.
Traced?
Yes, he saw it in the driveway somewhere. The tires match the track that led up to the quarry. There's only one glove in the compartment that matches the one that Austin found near the body. Now, Jane, he can't laugh this off. Where is he?
I don't know.
He's been here. He must have told you where he's gone.
No. No.
Look, it's no use, Jane.
Ian, I want you to look at something.
Photograph of Kay Ramsey. Wedding photograph.
Yes, it's Gilbert's wedding.
Kay Ramsey?
It's Gil's wife, Anne. The photograph's 10 years old.
Gil's wife. That's a remarkable likeness. What happened to her?
Well, she met someone else and left him.
Did he divorce her?
They were only married 2 years. He just couldn't believe she wouldn't come back to him.
But she didn't.
Well, she did once, to ask again for a divorce. She knew Gil was in line for a fellowship, so she threatened to take a flat near his university and live there openly with the other man. Of course, they had a terrible scene. She rushed out of the house crying. A few hours later, we heard that her car had crashed into a wall. Of course, everyone blamed Gil.
Was she killed?
No, nothing so simple. She's permanently crippled with the mind of a child. Gil's never forgiven himself.
Why haven't either of you told me this before?
I promised Gil. He went to pieces completely, and I had to look after him for a long time, and then when he got better, he had to start all over again.
Then he met Kay Ramsey. Well, that explains a lot. But where is he? He wouldn't be foolish enough to run for it. Jane, if you've helped him, it could be very serious. Is that what you've done? He took your car.
And I had to help him.
I should have known you well enough for this.
What are you going to do?
Ring the station.
No, he only needs this chance.
Jane, I've got to report it.
No.
It'll be worse for him if he's caught at the airport. Very well.
Ian, look, if I tell you what happened on Saturday evening...
It wouldn't change a thing.
Look what we've got here, sir. Oh, he's all right, miss. I got James Bond here off him in time.
How'd you find him?
Came round the back way, sir. Seems Duncan here had the same idea.
Good work, Sergeant.
Well, it was mostly the navy, sir. Oh, I found his keys on him.
Yes. Well, we better get Dr. Canning down to the station.
No,
Now,
wait.
you better not say anything at the
Now,
moment.
you've got to listen to me, Conway.
I know it. You had an affair with a girl. She would have exposed you. She took her out the quarry and strangled
I
her.
left her at the fence.
At the fence.
I drove her there, I admit. But she got out and walked down by herself.
Why?
To meet someone.
Who?
I don't know. That's why I couldn't tell you.
All right, tell me now.
Kay Ramsey had been waiting in my flat all Saturday afternoon. She told me about the child, that the man was going to marry her. She said they needed money. I gave her most of what I'd drawn for the flight, about £60. She said she was meeting him at the sand quarry. I drove her there. I came back and changed for the dance.
Did she tell you who this man was?
She wouldn't tell me.
And you didn't try to persuade her not to go?
Of course I did, but there wasn't time. I had to meet you two.
So he met her there after you'd gone and strangled her?
Yes.
There's no evidence of another man.
She told me herself.
Your glove was found near her body.
I didn't leave it there.
Then who did?
I don't know. I had both gloves on when I left the quarry.
Someone stole it from the car and planted it.
Yes. Do you want to know Who planted that glove? Who killed her? It was you.
Gil, you can't mean it.
That he killed her and arranged everything so that it led to me. Now, why not?
Look, we've had enough from you. If all you can do is make wild accusations.
Gil, was it so wild?
It's the truth and Conway knows it.
Evidence.
What's your alibi for Saturday night?
I was in my flat from 6:15 until 20 to 8.
Witnesses?
I was alone.
And the previous Saturday, when that woman saw you in London?
She didn't see me in London.
But you were in London, Jane told me.
Only for part of the day, on business.
You were seen at 3:30. Is that early enough?
Very well, I haven't got an alibi.
You seem to think that was important in my case.
Or in your case, there are other factors. You knew the girl.
So did you? The porter told us.
I've already explained that. I met her for less than 5 minutes. I asked a student, any student, where you were. Then I walked with her to the lodge. It just happened to be Kay Ramsey.
It just happened to be Kay Ramsey. And that evening, when the two of you called for us, Jane, was he with us all the time?
No. He went down to the car before us.
Yes.
Yes. You knew where my car was. It'd take you, what, 30 seconds to look in it, find something to use against me, like a glove?
Would I also borrow money off you to elope with her?
No. But you knew she came to my flat sometimes. That was your chance to involve someone else. You had to think of a reason to send her to me, so you thought of the money. On the day of the murder, you'd connected her with me. You'd made me bring her to the quarry.
Where I was waiting.
You saw me leave her by the fence. You knew you had to get rid of her or marry her, so you strangled her. You took the money, and you dropped the glove where it was certain to be found later.
And why should I do all this?
Well, why not? The scandal would have ruined you as much as me. And you could do it so cleverly. Pretend not to believe it. Lead them to me all the time.
Very interesting. All right, Sergeant, take him away.
Yes, sir.
There's a lecture room at the end of the corridor. You go with it. And get Austin up with you.
Right, sir.
Ian, what Gilbert said, it sounded so convincing.
Yes. He only wanted to show me there could be someone else.
Then you believe him?
I don't know, Jane. I don't know.
What you going to do?
Back an outsider, I'll stake in that for. Harris, Conway. Have you got the lab report on that glove? Get it, will you? Use my own methods on me.
Ian, the witness from Glasgow, she didn't say it was Gil.
Oh, yes, she identified Gilbert all right. And Austin and Brandon Harris. Everyone except the student, the most unreliable witness I've ever known. She wasn't even too sure about me. You got it? That glove is supposed to be lying out in the open all night. It should have been soaked. Is there anything in the report? Yes, you would think so. Who found it? Austin. Get me the duty roster for the last 2 weekends and ring me back, will you? I want the times of duty of all the men who've been on this case.
Well?
It's just possible that glove didn't get there until Sunday morning.
That means that Gil...
I don't know, Jane, I don't know. Would you mind asking Brandon to come in? Are they all right?
Yes, sir, Austin's with us.
Joe, I've checked. And it looks as if that glove could have been planted after all. What do you think, Joe?
Well, sir, Canning's clever. He's very clever. I'd be worried about you for a moment. But I think it's the old one, sir. Honest God, it wasn't me. Must have been 2 other fellas.
Yeah, but he was very convincing. If he didn't do it, if it wasn't him...
Well, if it wasn't him, it must be somebody who's got it in for him. That's odds on.
Can I see you a minute, Inspector?
I'm sorry, Miss Hennings. I'm rather busy at the moment. Austin found the glove.
Yes, sir.
I've got to have a word with him.
Right, sir.
I come at the wrong time.
Well, he's got rather a lot on his mind at the moment.
So thank heavens I didn't speak to him then.
Well, what is it? Can I help?
Oh, it's not worth bothering about, really. I'm glad I've a chance of seeing you, though.
Oh, why?
Well, to apologise for yesterday. I was a bit rude.
It's all in a day's work. Feeling better now?
Yes. Bit fed up, though.
Why?
Well, they won't let Beth and me out. I've been cooped up here for 2 whole days.
That's tough. Look, I'll tell you what. When they do let you go out again, oh, perhaps we could meet sometime.
I don't know anything about you. Are you married?
Married? Me? You're joking. Well, what about it? Might be fun.
It could be. We'll see.
What did you want to see the inspector about?
Oh, it's nothing really. It's just that he said that if I remembered anything out of the ordinary about Kay Ramsey, I had to tell him.
Did he? Well, what have you remembered?
Oh, well, it's silly, really. It's just that Kay usually wore a blouse and skirt. And one day, about a couple of months ago, she came in with 2 buttons missing off the blouse.
Go on.
But the blouse was held together by a man's tie pin. You know, the sort that clip on the collar.
Well, did she say who gave it to her?
No.
Well, what did it look like?
Rolled gold, little jazzy design, rather unusual.
They're not unusual. There's hundreds of those about.
Oh, are there?
Yeah, we couldn't possibly trace it. Have you any idea where it is now?
It's in our room, probably. I think Kay gave it to Beth.
Well, I'll tell you what. You have a look for it. If you find it, let me have it, and, well, I'll decide whether we ought to bother the inspector about it. Okay?
Okay.
Look, we could meet later on tonight. You could bring it with you. You could use the back window. I mean, after all, you'd be safe with the car. And we could have a drink or a coffee and a bit of a laugh. All right?
Yes, that would be fun, thank you.
Margot, did you want something?
Oh, only to say that I've checked everyone in. Well, I'll be going now.
Yeah.
Good night, Scanlon.
Good night, Margot. Where's the inspector?
Oh, he's going to have a word with one of our men, miss. I'm sorry about the way things have turned out, miss, but... Well, he's a tricky one, the professor. Oh, beg pardon.
You're quite sure it was my brother, aren't you, Sergeant?
Well, I've had the idea that it was for some time now, miss. You see, I remember one night nearly running into a car parked with no lights outside here. Well, I went round to have a word with the driver and found he had a young girl with him. He let the girl out and drove off, but not before I'd had a good look at her. Of course, it didn't mean a thing at the time. It was just another couple, but... Then when I met Dr. Canning and saw that photograph of Kay Ramsey, well...
You told the inspector?
I thought, in the circumstances, it were best he find out for himself. Excuse me, miss. Sergeant Brandon. Well, well, Harris. What information's that, then?
Oh, that's Sergeant. I'll take that.
Right.
Conway. And the other days? Barnes and Lever. The others were off duty.
Oh, what's happened?
He hasn't believed a word I've said.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. Austin.
Yes, sir.
You still deny you killed her?
Yes.
That the child was yours?
Yes.
I see. Gilbert Canning, it is my duty to arrest you on the charge that you did willfully murder Kay Ellen Ramsey at Johnson's Quarry, Longford Road, at or about the 7 p.m. on the 17th of March. It is my further duty to warn you anything you say may be taken down and used in evidence. Sergeant.
Well, is there nothing you can say that will...
What difference would it make?
You admit all your answers have been false.
If I could have gone on that plane, you could have thought what you liked. Kay was dead, I couldn't have taken things one way or the other.
Despite the fact we were bound to find out that you'd lied.
I still don't know how you were onto me so quickly.
Well, there was the glove. The tracks of your new car matched those we found at the quarry.
Yeah, but how did you trace the car?
Tell us, Sergeant.
Well, sir, well, I found that Dr. Canning had misled us about these garages, sir. So I was making a routine check of the other garages when I happened to spot his car parked in a driveway in Lennox Garden.
How did you know it was his car?
I got the number from records, miss.
How'd you do that, Joe?
Oh, from the records officer.
That's a lie. That car isn't mine.
It isn't registered in his name.
What do you mean?
He only collected it on Friday.
You couldn't have got that number from any office.
Now, don't start on me,
Oh, well,
please.
Sergeant, you could only known the car was his if you'd seen him in it. If you were waiting at the quarry.
But the shop assistant will swear that he was the one who bought the glove that Austin found.
Yes, Austin says he found it. But that you pointed it out.
Yeah, well, I stumbled.
And drew his attention to the glove. Now, you were off duty on Saturday, as well as the weekend that Kay Ramsey was seen in London.
I never even met the girl, sir.
But you could have. The night you saw them together. He's just told me that he saw Kay getting out of your car.
Yeah, Well, I've never met her. I've never spoken to her.
You were with her last weekend.
You're trying to trick me.
No, Sergeant. Dr. Canning was very near the truth, but you wanted to be too clever, Joe. You traced the glove, you traced the car, you even knew she was pregnant. You led us to him, and all the time it was you. You were the one in London with her, and you were the one who strangled her.
And I tell you, I've never even met the girl. You've no evidence, you can't prove a thing.
What do you think that phone call was? They just found one of your chewed pencils in the lining of Kay Ramsey's coat. You were too clever, Joe. The glove was your big mistake.
But the pencil?
Rule number 2, Joe. It doesn't exist. Why?
What?
Why did you do it?
Don't know, really. I liked her. She was a good kid. Oh, she wanted to be picked up all right. She was tired of all his talk, all the college talk. The purity of higher mathematics. We used to laugh about it. Then I got my promotion. I had to finish with her, but it was difficult. On Saturday, she came to me crying. Said I had to marry her. That was a laugh. Didn't know I was already married. So I sent her to see him, to try to borrow some money. I thought he'd talk her out of it, offered to marry her himself. Well, why didn't you? I didn't want to kill her. But you left her. You just left her. Well, I was waiting. I told her there was nothing doing, but she started crying. Then she became wild, and I don't remember. I just went for her. I had to stop her crying. I don't like to cry. I had to stop her.
Kill her?
I had to.
All right, lad. Austin.
To think I asked to be assigned to you.
I suppose I have to thank you, but thanks aren't enough. Oh, wait, by your car.
Gilbert, I want you back from Geneva in 48 hours.